Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, damsels and dingbats, to another episode of Stranded Deep, Season 2. Before we get started again today, we're going to go through our usual apologies here. I'm a little run down on the energy. I just got through a very long weekend. It was fun. It was a blast. I enjoyed it. I'd do it again, but it was definitely tiring. We started out the weekend by having our bi-weekly game session, tabletop game session, and that went pretty well, but it also lasted until like 6 o'clock in the morning. And then we went to bed and got up several hours later, and being Mother's Day, we decided to do a bit of a grill out for Mother's Day and have a little party. And not only was it Mother's Day, but it was our friend Angela's birthday. Angela being Tara, well, she's our family friend, you know, adopted family, but she started out being Tara's friend and one of my tabletop gamers' mothers. So, you know, it's one of those scenarios where we call her family, but she's not really family by blood or something like that. Anyway, the point is, it was her birthday, so it was kind of a double banger there. So we had a big old barbecue. I did a big old barbecue, all kinds of chicken and stuff like that. And then, once again, we went to bed again late. So I got up at 7 o'clock this morning to see Tara out the door to work, and that's after having that long freaking weekend. So I'm a little drained this morning. So you'll have to forgive me if I do brain dead things and stuff like that. So, but I have played a little longer. It is day 92 or 93 now in Stranded Deep. The last time we played, we put together this house. It's rather a nice house. Oh, it's still rather furniture poor just because I haven't taken the time to put the furniture together. My plants are all dead because it hasn't rained in a couple days, and I've been too lazy to go around it and water the plants. I'm trying to hide what I did here. Between last episode and this episode, I built the covered work area that I was telling you I'd like to do. So that is here. Big, old, and basically it's just a roof over my work area. And right now it's full of sticks because of what I'm planning on doing for this video. I kind of needed some materials put together. But back in here I've moved my solar stills here. And it doesn't make sense to put solar stills under a roof, but it works in the game, and it gets them out of the way, so that's good. I got my tanning rack. I've got my loom. I had a hobo stove in here, but since I've got I had a smoker in here. Since I have the hobo stove, I just I decided I really didn't need it. It took up space, so this functions as my crafting area. And kind of like my going to use it pretty soon material storage area. And then out here, out the back, I have a few more fruit trees. And again, like I said, right now, it hasn't rained in a few days and I haven't watered them. So my plants are all dead. But the next time it rains, they'll spring back to life and it'll all be good. And then all these little like this fruit here that was on the plant when it died is now, if I can get it, it's spoiled. So I can't eat it. It'll make me sick. But I can harvest them and use them for future, like if I want to add more fruit plants like along the coast here, along the beach here, I can use those to plant more. I thought that was a stick in the water, or a snake in the water over there. It's like, why is there a snake on my island? And I realized there's these sticks. There's sticks all over. I went and farmed up a bunch of trees for this episode, and obviously I had to go harvest, trees and harvest the lumber to build this work area. So the funny thing about this game is, if you I farm logs and I bring the logs back on the island, and then I split the logs into sticks here. Well, when you split a log on top of a log, or anything weird like that, it ends up chucking sticks like all the way across the island, and it's just a weird, glitchy, buggy thing that this game still has in its alpha phase. But that's why I started splitting it under the roof here, because now the sticks usually, they fly up in the air and bounce off the roof and come back down. So, not dangerous in real life whatsoever. So, what I decided I'm going to do in today's video is, I got to thinking, I've got a whole bunch of components, engine components. I'm pretty sure I have enough to put together another engine. But I want to see how big of a raft I can actually build that will still move and still be practical. Right now, this little boat works good. I mean, it is more than sufficient for my harvesting needs. But it flips over rather easily, and if I forget to save and I flip the boat over, these boxes fall out, and anything I have in them goes to the bottom of the ocean. And then I got a load from my last save, and there's been a couple times where I've worked for like 3 or 4 hours, and I've forgotten to save. So then I have to go do all that again. So I want a boat that's going to be a little harder to flip, which obviously is going to entail being larger. And I got to thinking, exactly how many of these little crates can I get a boat to carry? And if the boat's super stable and I'm not worried about it flipping, I'm not worried about putting them on the boat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and park this raft over here at my dock. And then I'm going to use those sticks that I've gathered to begin constructing my mega barge. Or actually, we'll call this the boat, we'll call the other one the barge. Because I intend, basically I'm going to construct 4 of these boats. And connect them together, and I'm going to have like the motor part in the middle, so it kind of pivots in the middle when I steer it. And then we'll see how many, we should be able to get 4 times the crates on it. If this little motor will move something that size, it's going to be slow as hell. I warn you right now, even before we begin building it, it is going to be slow. But if it works, I'll be able to go harvest an entire island of logs and bring it back to my base camp here, you know, easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to construct it all out of sticks. I know where there are, I know where there's still some tires. I know where I can still find some barrels and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna go through the process of going all the way out there just to get those special components when I can make a perfectly good raft out of good old-fashioned sticks. And I'm going to build this out this way here, simply because I don't have room at my dock, and it's on the other, basically on the other side of the island. I don't feel like running back and forth across the island, so I'm going to build my first platform, and I think it's going to be I'm just going to make a 3x3 platform. That way the center of that portion can be what holds the crates. I don't need anything larger than a one portion section here. So, whoops. Ah, crap. All right. Well, I screwed that up. It's the one thing I'm noticing. Get over here. Come here. I can still use both of you. I need you to come over here where I can get to you, though. Anyway, one thing I'm noticing is that the more crap put on this island, the buggier and laggier crap gets. I was coming back. It wasn't with this last load of lumber. It was the load before that I used for oh, it's a seagull. It's a load I used to build this covered work area here. I was approaching the island. I was on my return trip back. And there was stuff floating above my island. Like, I could see it a ways away. I mean, I don't think they intended for stuff like this to exist on the island. So the graphics at the lower setting that I have them on, they kind of load kind of funky. So, like, you see, like, a couple of supports of the building, but you don't see the full building initially. So I'm kind of used to that. I'm used to the graphics being a little buggy. But, like, I'd never noticed anything floating above the island before. It looked like my island had exploded, and stuff was, like, flying overhead off of my island. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Well, as I get closer, I'm seeing more and more stuff appearing above the island. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with my island? Like, all these crates that I had were floating above the island, and my little planters here with the fruit trees and stuff in it were floating out in the ocean. It literally looked like my island had exploded, and just at the pinnacle where most of the stuff was at its highest point in the sky, time had like semi-frozen. Like the stuff was still moving, but it was like it wasn't coming down. And I was looking at it, I was like, what in the hell is going on? I got some footage of it. I'll show you here in a minute. It was bizarre. And then all of a sudden, the game caught up and everything blipped back to where it was supposed to be, and I realized it was glitching. But it was just like, it's, you know, my poor graphics cards. And like I said, I don't think they ever intended for this much crap to be on one island at any one time. So my graphics cards are just having problems loading it. And it was really cool. So like I said, I got that recorded for you. I was planning on doing something completely different for the video today. I wasn't planning on building this raft. I wanted to build a pier out to that wreck out there that I could walk on, so that I could do some shark hunting, you know, without having to swim out there to that that shallows. You know, I could stand off the pier and do it. But you know, I figured, you know, I got to thinking about this raft. I'm like, you know, let's just put this together. Now, this is probably going to be another one of these videos that takes me all day, because I haven't even begun building the floor yet. This is just the base of the raft, and I'm almost done with the base of the first quarter, and I'm gonna have like 4 of these little pods sticking out. And I'm already almost out of sticks here, so I'm probably gonna have to pause the video and run out and get another batch of lumber and bring it back and make another batch of cordage, or the twine, or the rope, or whatever the hell this stuff's called in this game. What is it called in this game? I forget this early in the morning. Just stupid stuff like that. I got a bunch of it laying down here. I'll go look. But anyway, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to. What is this stuff called? Lashing. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go get some more. See, I don't have enough right now to make the last little. I need 14 sticks. I had so many sticks. You saw how many sticks I had. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. Is I'm gonna have to go get some more lumber and some more lashing and all that, and then come back, and I will. If I hadn't screwed that up over there, I would have had the first quarter of this done. And actually, I think I can save some time, and I can chop the mast and the boat motor off of my other raft. Well, yeah, I could chop the mast and the boat motor off of the other raft and use it as one of the quarter platforms. But if this raft doesn't work, it's just going to become a floating freaking like island of its own out here, and I'm going to need a functioning raft to get me to and from where I'm needing to go. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't want a fleet of boats sitting outside of my island, because like I said, I'm having enough graphics issues as is. But at the same time, I really want to see if this works. So let me drop off the tools I'm not going to use here, and go get the remainder. Well, go get some more sticks, and I will be back with you guys once again from your perspective in just a second. So, doodles. Alright, welcome back. It has taken me considerably longer to get back to recording here. I hopped on my boat over there, took off, went to the island, cut down several trees, made my way back. Remember I was telling you about how this, like, I don't think the game's supposed to have this much crap on it, so every time I come back it looks like my island's exploded. Remember I just showed you the video with all the stuff floating in the air? It was doing the same thing, and I came back, and the only difference this time was this little raft that I started, this little part of our new boat, I couldn't see it. You know, it had not graphically rendered in. So I pulled my boat that I was piloting over there up to the dock right in this area here. I got off, I went and I drank some water, and I went and saved the game, and then I came back to unload the boat, and all of my crates that are in the boat that I'm using to transport stuff are missing out of the boat. They're just gone. And this is like way the hell out, like way past the tip of the mast here. This is sitting way out there. I'm like, what the hell is going on? The only thing I could figure has happened is that I pulled up and docked my boat inside this. So when this rendered in, it had a whole collision effect with my boat, and it launched my boat up in the air. Thankfully, the boat landed bottom side down. But unfortunately, while it made its journey through the air, it catapulted all of my crates and everything that I had just harvested into the water. Now, I did manage to find all of them, like down in the depths here, and I managed to get them back in the boat. But getting those crates back in that boat literally took me like 2 hours of real time, not game time, real time. Like, they did not want to go back in this boat. So I am hoping that at some point in the future, when they're doing updates and whatnot, that they have some way to anchor these chests, these crates, because I am so tired of them falling out of the boat. Hopefully making this bigger boat is going to solve that and make, you know, as long as I can't flip the boat, I should be fine. The other problem I'm having is these crates up here, no matter how I stack them, every time I come back out, the damn birds have flipped these crates over. So I'm going to have to, at some point, do some modification to my warehouse system and maybe keep all the crates and stuff inside. I think I'm going to turn this into my warehouse / boathouse, because I want to build an indoor docking bay or whatever, kind of where you pull your boat inside. So I'd like to do that for my main boat over here. Obviously, the raft we're working on now, the big guy, I don't think there's enough wood in the trees in this game for me to build a structure on this little island for a boat that size. But anywho, I need a hammer. What did I do with my hammer? Yeah, it's just been one struggle after the next this morning, and maybe it's because I hadn't, I don't. Normally I drink coffee in the morning, or tea, depending on what my stomach's feeling like. I'll have myself a nice big cup of caffeine. And maybe it's because we had a long weekend and I hadn't had my caffeine before I started recording this morning. But, man, this is, hopefully our luck does not continue, because so far this little project of mine, having just begun it, has already become more of a pain in the butt than anything else. So I'm going to start, when I return, I'm going to start docking down at this end of the island. I'm going to build my raft over here past these shallows, hopefully to prevent myself from catapulting half of my crap across the map again. Unfortunately, I would dock at my pier. Like, I've literally got a dock over here. I showed you guys. Unfortunately, unloading sticks, going back and forth is really just a pain in the butt with that thing. So I contemplated either just completely redoing it or putting in like some steps or something. I have a bad habit when I go out of like falling into the damn water. Every time I get off my boat, I have to jump up on the dock. I fall into the water. Every time I jump from the dock onto my boat, I fall into the water. It's just like, so that's why, you know, you've noticed that the last few times I've docked, you've seen me dock. You know, I'm not even docking at the freaking pier anymore. I'm just pulling up straight up on land here. And that's why. It's because I'm so tired of, I've even flipped my boat over a couple times. Thankfully, it's really easy to get your stuff back. You know, those crates sink to the bottom of the water, and my island here is surrounded by shallows. But still, like I said, it's a pain in the butt to try to get all that crap back in your boat. So it's more convenient for me to do it this way than that. So why is this not locking on here? Cooperate with me, dude. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right there. Nope. Damn it. Yeah, because. All right. So it took us a couple days, and harvesting the coconut trees off of like 5 freaking islands to do it. But we've managed to get our super barge done here. We ended up with the equivalent of 5 of my original barge. This thing turns like a freaking I don't know, a building. It does not turn well, but she's got some decent speed on the straightaway, and if this works, she's got quite a bit of carrying capacity here. So I don't know, we're gonna find out. So let me get this thing back to the island, and we'll see if the boat floats with all those cargo containers in here. So cross your fingers. Alright, well, sadly, the boat, she does not float. It took me a couple hours to get all these crates in here. Each one of the 5 sections is full-on crates, and as you can see, not only does the motor not move the boat, but she's wanting to sink. If your raft could sink in Stranded Deep, if there was a mechanic for sinking, well, we'd have done been sunk. So obviously this does not work. Maybe if I cut a couple sections off and made it a little smaller, I could end up with a raft that is larger than the one I have been using. But right now, this has been a lot of time, a lot of resources for a lot of nada. So what I'm going to do is take these crates off here, just like this. And we're going to take the boat and we're going to park it over here alongside the house. I can't just take it and abandon it somewhere. So I'm going to park it over here on the side of my glitchy, not graphically loading house here. I'm going to park it over here out of the way, just so that we can see that we've built it. We know that this does float. We just can't carry anything on it besides ourselves. So we'll go ahead and park it here for now. And to wrap up the rest of this episode, let's go ahead and take a look at some other things I've been working on, shall we? All right. Well, we are now 123 days in. That's over 4 months, ladies and gentlemen. Here's our Theo raft sitting outside our house. This is looking down on it from the 2nd floor balcony, if that gives you some indication how big that bastard is. Alright, I have done some other work around the base. So I figured to finish off this episode, I'd go ahead and show you what I've been working on here. I still have a couple episodes to finish off this season. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with yet. So I've done about as much as I want to do on this island. I've put in a covered walkway here. Thinking about maybe trying to turn this into like a watchtower or something, but for now, I've just made it easier to get across the island. I have to go in here and clean up my storage area. I'm going to get all these boxes restacked up, get the ones from outside pulled in. Again, this is my outdoor covered work area. And then out here, I have put in our covered boathouse, which works rather well. I have not fallen into the water yet. It is kind of hard to line up with this from out at sea, though, with the way this does not, the graphics don't like to load up immediately, so I kind of have to sit out there for a minute and wait for everything to load up. And I have got myself a rather nice little grove of fruit trees going on here. Some of them have fruit on them. Some of them don't because I've eaten fruit, whatnot. But I've got a pretty self-sustainable at this point when it comes to food and water. Right now, the thing I'm worried about is lumber. Like, I have to go, every time I want to build something, I have to go try to find an island I haven't already stripped to find trees I can cut down for sticks and whatnot. But, thankfully, I think I've done about all I'm going to do on the island. I was playing around with the idea of building a pier, or a causeway. I don't know what you would call it exactly, but I was playing around with the idea of coming out here and knocking one of these walls out of my boathouse, like right over here, probably about here, and extending the walkway out to that mast. Because if you remember when we went shark hunting, that's where our shark was, out there in the deep water next to that wreck. So if I can build one of these walkways out there so I can get to the shark hunting grounds a little bit easier, that would be ideal too. But that's going to involve going and trying to find an island that still has trees on it. And I've been doing nothing but ferrying back and forth and cutting down trees just to build the stuff I've got now. And I'm kind of burnt out on that. So I think, I mean, Season 1, Stranded Deep, had 9 episodes in it. This is going to be, I believe, episode 7. So in order to keep up with last season, I'd need to make 2 more videos. But at this point, I'm really not sure what's left to do. I mean, we're pretty OP in the game right now. I mean, we're self-sustainable. We have all kinds of crap to do. I could furnish the house, but I'm not going to spend a whole episode making you watch me do that. I got those boxes to stack up, but that's not entertainment. I was thinking about maybe going out and doing another a shark hunting expedition to replace Bob, to get Bob back. And there are 3 types of sharks in this game. There is the black-tailed reef shark, the tiger shark, and the great white. So I was playing around with the idea of going out and hunting one of each of those and like lining them up on the beach here, just as, you know, ornamental. But I'm not really certain on that. But we will have 1 more episode for sure, maybe 2 if I can pick up something else to do. But for now, however, we're out of time, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. And thank you for watching, and thank you for liking and subscribing and leaving comments and whatnot if you do. If you don't, no biggie, no pressure. I'm not hunting for them. I'm just, putting my thanks out there for those of you that have supported me. Until next time, though, I've been your host, DM Navion, saying stay safe, have fun. I'm out.